Bunty. My bunty do. My bunty do.
People. Que pasa, sapa, say what they do. Now, people, the voice that you hear is a type of voice that is echoed all over Jamaica on a daily basis, especially in the volatile communities, especially when we talk about St. James, we are talking about Montego Bay. And the first part of this video is about an individual that was slapped away yesterday at approximately 2:30 p.m. in the evening afternoon in St. James on Union Street. And his name is Barrington Smith, OC, aka Bounty. People, it is very ironic because when you see the amount of spent shell, it seems as if somebody put a bounty on his head without a shadow of a doubt. Because people, them wet him up. May I talk about like a strainer. I am speaking about at least 6 or 7 spent shells. I don't know how much he got. I realized that there was one in his head, there were a couple in his back, so people may not know if any in his chest or his upper torso. However, he passed away on the spot. He passed away like a dog in the street. Right by we are talking about the gutter, we are talking about the storm drain. People, it was bad, terrible. May I talk about the worst case scenario, point blank and period. Now, based on the information, based on the Popo report, it is that he was standing along his popular hangout spot when he was pounced upon and cornered up several times by an assassin. May I talk about people, the man seemed like he not miss nothing. May I talk about it was a clean getaway. He basically took him out and just run from the spot. Now, several eyewitnesses or persons that was on the scene after the incident, they were weeping, they were crying, they were bawling because they must say he is a good man, he is a kind-hearted person. He always helps his lane, a place called Blood Lane. And people like me say, you see the irony in everything, BLOOD once again, and that is exactly how they took him out. Now, people, when we think about stuff like this, we have to wonder what is going on in Jamaica, and especially, specifically, places like Montego Bay, because we seen that the last week or so, we saw them slap away 2 men that are associated to the Gulf and also Huga Lane, and also a next man that was leaving the Popo station in a St. James on condition of bail, and he was also pounced upon by some assassins. So people, we see say Montego Bay is never going to cool. It is always going to erupt. It is always going to be like a volcano. It is always spewing all sort of heat. May I talk about magma, may I talk about lava. Now, based on the information, it is said that after the incident, the Popo and the soldier, may I talk about the security forces, they were on the spot right away ASAP. However, they came moments or minutes too late because the assassin already stepped away. He left the scene. He was out the building, point blank and period. The police report also stated that there is no motive. Alright people, I am going to get to the motive. However, when we see incidents like these occurring on a daily basis, especially in a them garrison, especially we are talking about St. James, we are talking about Montego Bay, you should come to the logical conclusion that gone are the days when you hang out on the corner playing domino, playing cards, playing lodi, whatever it is, whatever your game of choice is. Because the possibility or the probabilities are, the more that you hang out is the more likely that somebody is going to pounce upon somebody in the group and basically blaze them away, because like them say, the devil always finds work for idlers. And what is even worse, what I see as a very disturbing trend in these ghetto is that misery loves company. So therefore, if a set a man basically bored in them life, they don't have anything going for their life, and they see a set of people enjoying themselves, it is as if it is boiling up inside. It is as if they are mad. They have to find some sort of way. We are talking about to stop people fun, and people, you know exactly what that means. They are going to stop some people heart just so everybody can be miserable like them. Because people, when we see what is going on in Jamaica, it seems like Jamaican men are some of these persons in the garrison. They are possessed. They are demon possessed. So therefore they do all type of evil act. Point blank and period. Now when we think about the situation and we analyze it, we saw that we heard a lot of people bawling and screaming and all type of things. People from his neighborhood, I am speaking about Blood Lane, because he is said to be a very kind individual. Now people, when you hear people talk about a kind individual, that is usually that a person have that sort of mentality or a MO like a Don or a area leader. Now people, don't get it twisted, don't get it misconstrued. I am not trying to point any fingers and say that this man is involved in any sort of illegal or illicit activity. However, usually when we hear that persons are popular, we have to ask the question, are they popular because they have some sort of business? We are talking about legitimate business. Or are they doing some sort of black market business? We are talking about them have the hookup. We are talking about them have the link to some underground activity. And people, when you think about stuff like this, it always leads to problem, because jealousy always seems to seep in. There is always somebody that is not satisfied with their share. We are speaking about of the proceeds of crime. And people, don't get it twisted. And people, like me say, me no know this man. I don't know what type of activity he is involved in, because maybe he might be doing day trade. And the times that he's out there on the street playing dominoes and shooting the breeze, he might have investment we are talking about in the stock market. Me no know. However, based on what we hear and based on how he got taken out, I can only draw a logical conclusion that he is in some sort of illegal or illicit activity. Based on word on the street and based on the Popo report and based on what everybody out there say, he was a popular person. People, popular mean that you are doing something that everybody knows you, and nobody wants to know you. You don't get popular unless you have some sort of money, unless you have some sort of link, because people in a Jamaica, especially in a the garrison, people like you when you can help them. People like you when them can hang out them hand and you put something in it, you can grease them palm. So therefore, of course, persons are going to miss him. Now people, don't get it twisted, don't get it misconstrued. Jamaica is a very rough place, and sometimes a lot of these persons living in the garrison, they come from a very dysfunctional home, so therefore they did not get the opportunity to get any sort of education, so therefore they live off the street. However, whenever you live off the street, there is a repercussion, there is an after effect, there is a negative effect that comes with it. So the point that I am trying to make is that this is an extreme case. This is an option. This is a likely scenario that could have taken place. And people, we say in this case, it was the worstest case. Point blank and period. So anyways, people, that is my views on the whole thing as it pertains to that. And like me say, it is just my views and opinion. It is not the gospel. Your views and opinion can be respectfully different from mine. But let me know what you think in the comment section. Bless up. Now before I move to the next part of my video, please subscribe to my next channel. It is called Jamaica Dancehall Source. One word, don't put any space between the words. And also, I am going to be pinning the link to that channel in the description of this video. And also, please subscribe to this channel through Jamaica Buzz. And when you subscribe, please press the notification bell or icon, and also press all in the option. Now people, after 3 infamous cases, we are speaking about Savian Hines in St. Mary, we are speaking about Susan Bogle and Jermaine Ferguson in St. Andrew. It seems like the Popo and Parliament is under pressure from Jamaicans for Justice and also Indecom, because they want to amend the Indecom Act. Especially and specifically, I am speaking about Section 20, in which gives Indecom officers the power to arrest, prosecute, investigate, and everything, full power, as it pertains to the Popo force, may I talk about the security force, I am speaking about JCF and JDF. So therefore they are calling for the government to safeguard and strengthen the power of Indecom, so therefore they can be more effective against Popo abuse in Jamaica. Now people, back in 2015, a parliamentary committee, they had a meeting and they agreed that they are going to do an amendment of the Indecom Act. However, people, we're in 2020 now, we are speaking about 5 years later and nothing has changed. Now, based on these 3 cases that I told you about before, and based on the recommendations of the UK Privy Council, they recommended that Indecom basically amend their powers. So therefore, the government, we are speaking about the parliamentary committee, they are supposed to come together and give Indecom, may I talk about, much more power. So basically, Section 20 of the Indecom Act would give the Indecom officers the opportunity, the privilege for also not only investigate but also bring criminal charges against JCF and JDF members. And the reason why they want these changes is because actually right now the police is policing the police. So therefore, if the Popo does something, if the JCF or the JDF soldier does something wrong, the JDF or the Popo would have to bring their own people to court. They would have to actually charge these people. And people, your sister, that is a conflict of interest. You can't have the Popo or the soldier monitoring the Popo or the soldier, because they are always going to take up for each other. That is just how it is. That is how it has always been, and that is how it will be if they don't change this Indecom Act, point blank and period. So basically what Jamaican for Justice and Indecom wants right now, they want a body, they want an independent body, because as it is right now, it is the opposite of an independent oversight committee. We are speaking about the system as it is right now. And they also want Indecom to have the powers of MOCA and also the Integrity Commission. So people, they want Indecom, that is the sole body that basically investigate these Popo, for basically have the power to investigate and also charge and prosecute these Popo. So people, based on what we see, it is obvious that Indecom is getting no sort of support from the Popo Federation of Jamaica, and specifically I am speaking about Patry Row, because whenever there is any sort of controversial Popo shooting in Jamaica, we see that Indecom actually has to get some sort of warrant before it could even observe or go over the record of the Popo that is involved. So basically, it seems like the Popo Federation is always trying to block or intervene or slow down the process as far as Indecom's investigation is concerned. And we also see that the Justice Minister, I'm speaking about a person whose name is Delroy Chuck, it seems as if he is not supporting and also trying to slow down the process. And what is so strange is that when he was a part of the opposition back in 2015, he was a part of the parliamentary committee that wanted to see the change of the Indecom Act we are speaking about amended, and specifically Section 20. However, now that he is a part of the leadership, we are speaking about the JLP, it seems as if he is speaking from the next side of his mouth. So it is obvious the hypocrisy that exists as it pertains to Popo, as it pertains to politician, because remember, it was the UK Privy Council that recommended that the Indecom Act be amended, point blank and period. So anyways people, that is my views on the whole thing as it pertains to that. And like me say, it is just my views and opinion. It is not the gospel. Your views and opinion can be respectfully different from mine. But let me know what you think in the comment section. Bless up.